This is my very first book haul ever. I have a lot of books. I don't know how many books that I have, but I will say this book haul is a long time coming. I've had these books since the holidays. You need to leave. And I've just kind of like been slowly accumulating them, adding them to my library and stuff like that. I have books from Book Outlet, that they're always having sales. Some from Barnes, some were gifts for my birthday or from Christmas, and then I think I have one or two free books. So yeah, let's get into what I got going on. I'm not gonna read the synopses of the book only because I don't like going into a book knowing what it's about. Like, unfortunately, I'm that person that judges a book by its cover. If I like the cover, then I think I'm gonna like the book. So, and usually 9 out of 10, that's what happens. So yeah, so we're just gonna do it any type of order. Once again, not reading the synopses because there's a lot of books and I really don't want to know what the books are about. Some of them I vaguely know what they're about from like other creators on social media or on YouTube. Okay, so starting pretty easy. So I got these crochet books because I'm gonna start doing a lot of cool stuff and get more into like granny square making. I think they're pretty cool. I walked into Michael's one day and I wanted to splurge and spend money. And so I was like, you know what? These look pretty cool. So I got them and here we are. So the next book I'm gonna show, it's pretty much a classic at this point. I had it when I was like in middle school. However, I didn't get around to reading it, and I also lost my copy of this. But I was in my school's English department, and they usually have free books that you can just take. And so I got The Book Thief. I'm pretty excited to read this. I've always wanted to read it, but never got the chance. Don't know why, but I'm pretty excited. And I think there's a play, a musical, a movie. There's something. Don't come for me, but I know that there's an adaptation somewhere, and I would like to read this book first before I go watch, see, or whatever. Cookie break. Nom, nom. Oh, nom, 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 nom. So the next books I have, I ordered them from Amazon. I know how we feel about Amazon and buying books from Amazon, but I feel like it's been really hard. How do I put this? It's been really hard to find these books in like a bookstore, whether that be indie or someplace like Barnes and stuff like that. And just no one seems to have these books, and the only place that I could get them was Amazon, and I've been wanting them for like ever. Like, they've been sitting in my wish list or my TBR wish I could buy list for like a grip now. But so we're starting with Lipstick and Camera Clicks by DJ Murphy. I'm not gonna say too much, but from the cover it looks like a wide choose. I'm not too sure, but I'm here for it and I'm ready to eat it up. The next book is The Roommate Risk by Talia Hibbert. So I only read one book by Talia Hibbert, and it's from the Brown Sisters series. I only read the first book, but I really did like her writing style, and I think I've seen some promo like a year or two ago whenever this came out. Oh, well, before this came out, and I remember thinking like, this is very intriguing and I really do want to read this. The next book that I have is Elevator Pitch by Evelyn Lay. So I've seen some promo for this like a very long while ago. I even followed the author on social media because the way that they pitched the book seemed like very interesting. Do I remember what it's about? Absolutely not. But I do remember liking the premise of the book. And then the last book I got from Amazon, it's called The Idol Effect by MC Sakala. And she's a chunker. Yeah, she's pretty chunky. Um, I'm very into K-pop, and of course I'm a black girl, and I just love seeing female black leads just being loved on and being in love and being chosen. And so just like, and she's also very cutesy, very whimsy. So I just love seeing really cute black girls and my love for K-pop being put together. So I'm very interested and excited to read this. The next thing on my list are just like, it's 3 books really, that I got gifted for my birthday, which was in January, but also for Christmas. I know, we're now in, I want to say May. Wow. We're almost in May, but we're like, it's April 23rd. And I'm telling you guys, like, this has been sitting here for like the longest time. So starting off, I have The Girl from the Sea by Molly Knox Ostertag. I'm hoping I'm saying your last name right. Ostertag, yeah. Really cutesy. Where did I see this? I seen this somewhere. I don't remember. Maybe it was like a post on Instagram or TikTok. It's queer love, and I love that for myself. Well, for the book, really. But yeah. So it's a graphic novel. Don't know what it's about, but I am here for it. The next book I got gifted was Take a Hint, Danny Brown, which is the second book in the Brown Sister series. Okay, so it's by Talia Hibbert, which is so funny because we're just talking about what is it? The Roommate Risk by Talia Hibbert. But yeah, so I read the first book, which was Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I didn't know the title before, but the title is right here. This is the second book. I also have the third book. I'm happy that I have the whole trilogy. And then lastly, as a gift, I got the 6th volume of Lore Olympus, the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. So I started reading Lore Olympus like a lot of fans through Webtoons, and I've just been so obsessed since. But every time, I haven't really been keeping up lately, but every time a new volume is published, I go and buy the hardback. I usually prefer the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition than the original cover sometimes. Only because they're really cute, but I also just want it to be mostly Hades and Persephone. I think some of the covers, the original covers, have like the other characters on it, but I'm just like, we're going through a theme right now, and yeah, that's what I'm going for. Super excited to complete the series once everything is published. Moving on to the Barnes & Noble purchases and another snack break. Nom, oh, nom, 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 nom. And these are just things that I purchased myself, so they're not gifted. I think actually the rest of this I purchased myself. Not at once. Some of these were during like holiday sales, sales, or I just bought it just for the hell of it. So starting with, oh, I messed it up. Tears. That was on me. That was in Barnes. But I bought Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. And then Bram Stoker's Dracula. If you know me, I love reading about classic monsters, Frankenstein, Dracula. Um, Not just like classic like monsters, but just like werewolves and vampires in general. Like that is me. I've always been that way since I was in like middle school. Um, and the thing is like I'm 26 right now, and I've basically went my whole life without reading Dracula and Frankenstein. And I feel like everybody around me has read Dracula and Frankenstein. And low key, as an English major, that's a bit embarrassing. So, yeah, I got those for myself for funsies. Moving on. So, the next book I got is The Vanishing Cherry Blossom Bookshop by Takuya Asakura. This is a translated tale, a translated story from Japan. To be honest, I got it because it was $5 if you bought a drink at the cafe. But also, like, do you see the little flecks in the light? Wow. Yeah. My weakness, okay, once again, this is a problem. I buy books because of their covers, not necessarily because of like their story. Like if it's popular, like maybe I'll buy it if it's popular. I'm not really like one to jump on the train of buying books that are popular, but I am a sucker for gorgeous book covers. Like one, it's pink. It's not my favorite color, but it's pink. And I don't own very many pink books, in my opinion. But it sparkles in the light and it's so cute. And it's about a bookstore. And there's a cat. I'm assuming that the cat is in the story. And I have a cat. Her name is Binky. That's her nameplate right there. Binky. But like, it's pretty. So I got it and it was $5 at Barnes. And we know how expensive Barnes and Noble is. Yeah. So the next books I got was Funny by Mona Awad. So yes, this book is very popular. I also did like the premise of the book when I heard about it, but I did not buy it because it was popular. I bought it because two of my classmates in my cohort read it and they were raving about how good this book was, and I was like, you know what? If they say it's good, I believe them because they have pretty good taste when it comes to like books and stuff like that. So I bought it. Next on the docket, it's just like 3 graphic novels I got. So I'm like slowly moving out of like my manga era and just slowly like but surely getting more into graphic novels. I don't know. I just like pretty things and I just love colors. Like anything with color, pretty covers, like I'm all over that. So I got this book, this graphic novel. It's called The Sweetness Between Us by Sarah Winifred Searle? Cyril? Yeah. So it's a sapphic story about vampire. A vampire? Vampires? Vampire human? I'm sold. Vampire and sapphic? I'm sat. Expeditiously, I'm sat. And the colors, once again, the colors are like so cute. It gives like bi, low key, but who am I? So yeah, so the next thing I got was If You'll Have Me by Uni. I think that's how you pronounce the person's name. But I've been really interested in this story. I've seen it a lot on TikTok in the past and on Instagram, and I'm like, listen, person of color, black lead, I'm here for it. It's colorful, it's cute, and it's a graphic novel. I'm sad. So the last graphic novel I got was The Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich by Daya Muniz. And I got this specifically because Capri's Book Island, she's on YouTube. Well, she's not on YouTube anymore. I think she's taking a break from YouTube right now and focusing more on Patreon, which makes me sad. But I seen her reading this, and then I seen a couple of other people reading this, and at the time when I did know the premise of the story, I was like, this sounds very interesting. And I remember that Capri really liked it, so I was like, you know what? Let me get this book for myself. So that's what I ended up doing. Okay, so the next thing I got was, it was some sale. It was a sale. I love sales. That's my weakness, but we're still on Barnes and Noble. But I got The Sirens by Amelia Hart. I'm just gonna sit here and say, never heard of this book, but it's pretty. It's very pretty. I like the art on it, and it also has sprayed edges. Like, I don't really too care. I don't really care too much for the sprayed edges, but it's just, look at the cover. It's just so pretty. What I'm realizing now is, I don't know, because it says author of Wayward, and they're giving praise to Wayward, by Amelia Hart, and I'm gonna be so real. I don't know if this is a standalone story or if this is the second book in a duology or series. I don't know. I'll figure it out when I eventually get to reading it. Years down the line, I think. But yeah, very guilty because it's just really pretty and I bought it because it was pretty.
Okay, okay, okay. Like, we get it. Okay.
And then the last two things I got from Barnes was the 7th and 8th volume of Lore Olympus. Super duper excited. I'm gonna be so real. I do not think I ordered this version of the book. I'm pretty sure I ordered the other version. Like, there's nothing wrong with like this, but I really do like seeing Persephone and Hades on the cover. Still not sure if I did it on purpose and what was the reason. I much would have rathered the other cover for the 7th book, but I did end up buying the Sirens with these two books because, as we know, if you are buying a series or you're buying books within a series, that counts as one book. All right, moving on. I want to say we're halfway through. Looks like we're halfway through. I think at the end of this, I'm gonna count how many books in total it is. It's a lot. I feel like, I don't know. I don't know. Make a guess on how many books you think in total this is. Because sometimes I just go a little crazy when it comes to a sale. Okay, so lastly, the last few books that I have is a part of, wow, why am I blanking on the name? Book Outlet. So I have two boxes here. I guess it's like a box and a half, kind of, sort of. And so I think one box is from like the Black Friday sale, and I also had points, and they were also doing another deal. So if we want to be real, it was like a 3-for-1 deal. And then the other box, I think it was like the end of year sale, New Year sale. So I did some damage, not really.
Why the fuck you lying? Why?
Okay, so this first box I had already opened. I usually open my boxes, but then I got lazy on the second box, and I kind of just like took some of the books out, and then I don't know. I just, sometimes I just be going crazy. I'm also in grad school, so like sometimes like I start things and then don't finish, and like I'm going crazy. Life is crazy, but yeah. So the box that we're gonna go through first, already opened, but the second box I have not opened, so I don't know what is in the second box. But I also do not know what's in this box. I haven't really looked at this box in like months. So the first book I got is Looking for Smoke by K.A. Coble. So I realized that like a part of like diversifying your bookshelf is like reading books from everybody. And I realized that I do not have a lot of other authors of color. So like I do have a lot of books from, of course, black authors and authors in the LGBT community, and a lot of Asian authors as well. But where I lack is of authors of other cultures, like Pacific Islanders, Latin American, and even Native American. Like I have a couple of Native American stories, books. Like I'm like sorry, I'm like looking directly at my bookshelf because I know I do have a few like the Firekeeper's Daughter, and they're there, and so it's just like oh my god, I'm blanking on the. I have one more story. It was a I don't know. I read it for a class in undergrad, but yeah, so moving forward, I got Looking for Smoke by K.A. Coble. I feel like I already said that. I don't know. My mind is crazy and I just kind of like, my mind is all over the place, to be honest. I hope like there's not a glare. There's a glare. The cover's shiny, but like, look at the cover. The cover is fire. Like there's smoke right here. I don't know. It just looks so cool. I don't know what the book's about. I don't. I bought the book because of the cover, but I also heard really good reviews about this book. So I was like, you know what? Let's read it. The other book I bought was Lady Tan's Circle of Women by Lisa C. Say. I hope I'm not saying that last name wrong. But yeah. So I was just genuinely interested. Um I do remember reading the synopsis of this book and really liking what the book was about. And so I had saved it in my book outlet. What is it called? Wish list, and it was there for a while, and it was going out of stock, and I was like, you know what, let me just buy it so that I can just have it. And I'm really excited to read this. I usually just read like literary fiction, but usually those are for classes, but I end up liking the literary fiction books I read. Um, I'm very much into fantasy, contemporary romance, romantasy. I'm really trying to get into like other forms of fiction, and I'm also trying to get into thrillers as well. So yeah, I got it. The cover is also pretty gorgeous. Um, and just the title alone and just like the woman on the cover just says a lot about the story. I don't know. It looks like there's a story itself on the cover. And so that's why I got the cover myself. Not the cover. That's why I got the book myself. And then the next book I have, Missing White Woman by Kelly Garrett. I also heard really great things about the book. I didn't really get the book because of the cover. I think this is one of the books where I was just really interested in the premise of the book, but also I think this is a thriller or mystery. I could be wrong, but like I said, like I really do want to get into like more thriller mystery things. Um my problem is though is just like when it comes to thrillers and mystery, I feel like the hype is there, but you when you get to the end and you find out the twist and stuff in a thriller or mystery, like I don't know. It makes me not want to read the book again because it's just like, okay, well, I already know what's gonna happen. Like you can say the same thing for other books too, but I feel like it's just like that excitement. I don't know. I might change my mind. Don't quote me on that. Who knows? But yeah, I didn't get the book because of the cover, but I did get the book because of the raving reviews for this, in the Black Book Talk community. So I'm very excited to read this. The next book I got is Stepsister by Jennifer Donnelly. I'm be so real. I used to be, and I probably still am, a sucker for retellings. Like, I really love retellings of like old stories, and clearly this is a Cinderella retelling. Like, yeah, and it's pretty cool, and like you can feel the glass, like, what is that called? Not raised, something like that, but like you can feel the texture of the glass, and it's pretty cool. And the back says, "Don't just fracture the fairy tale, shatter it." So I'm thinking this is like a Cinderella stepsister retelling, maybe from the stepsister's point of view. Um, but yeah. So the next book I got is Six Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent. Um, so I only read one book by her, and it is, of course, The Serpent and the Wings of Night. And I really, really, really love that book. Um, I don't know if I gave it 4 or 5 stars, but I remember like really liking the book. I bought the second book and didn't read it. I just have a really, really hard time going straight to the next book if it's in a series, and I do need to stop doing that. I really do. But yeah, I got the spin-off short novel. It says it's a short novel, but spin-off novella, whatever you want to call it. The next book I got was Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas. And no notes. Never read the book, but vampires. I am a vampire girly. I will read, watch any.
Moments later.
Sorry about that. My iPad was like, "You don't have any more storage," and I'm like, "Girl." Anyways, back to what I was saying. Got this book because of vampires, but I also want to read more from Latinx identities, because I do not have a lot of books in my inventory by Latinx authors. Next on the docket is The Haunting by Natasha Preston. Once again, I'm trying to get into thrillers and mysteries and even just a little bit of horror. I'm not sure if this is a horror novel, but I've heard that Natasha Preston is a really good at what she does, as all these authors. I really wanted to read The Island, but I'm like, I'm not gonna buy it at full price, but I did see this. So I was like, you know what? Let me just, maybe this could be like my real intro. So the next book I have is 12th Night by Alexine Farrell Fulmuth. And honestly, I like gaming. I'm very big into gaming, and I like the premise. The idea of a jock and a gamer being together. I'm not even truly sure if that's what it really is, but I also got it because of the game On. Then I have Of Jade and Dragons by Amber Chen. So I don't really got to say too much. Just look at the cover. The cover is so freaking gorgeous. I don't have to say too much. I got the book To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods by Molly X. Chang. Let's take a look. Also, I wish that like it's such a shiny cover, and I wish you guys could actually like see like how gorgeous it is. But like, yeah. I got The Haunting of Alejandra by V. Castro. She's a little dirty, but like I can't really complain because I did get it discounted. But the cover is very beautiful, and I've heard about it on multiple occasions, and I'm very interested in reading this. But like, can we snaps for the cover? Yes. Hood Feminism by Mickey Kendall. Can I just say, I've been hunting for this book. Every time I went to a bookstore, out of stock. Every time I went onto Book Outlet to put it in my cart, as soon as I get to checkout, it's gone, out of stock. And I feel so lucky and so grateful to have this book in my hands because I've been wanting this book for 2 straight years since I heard about it. And I feel honored to have this copy in my hand. I'm not going to say too much. I'm excited. I finally have my own copy of Hood Feminism. Yup. The next book I got is The Bones of Ruin by Sarah Raleigh. So I'm a little frustrated because I got the second book by accident because I thought it was the first because the covers look just a tad bit similar. And when the book got here, not only wasn't paperback, but it was hardcover. And when I looked at it, it said book 2. Now, I love Book Outlet, but sometimes with Book Outlet, they don't necessarily tell you whether some certain books are book 1 or book 2. And you just kind of have to like know. But yeah, so I'm happy that I got this book. I'm very excited. It's about a dancer fighting I'm here for it. The next book I have is Nigeria Jones by Ibi Zaboy. I don't know what this book is about, but I'm a stickler for supporting Black authors. Sue me. I don't care. I don't know. I bought it because it was in the like Book Outlet is already discounted, but it was like in the discounted section. And I was like, you know what? Nobody's buying this. I'm gonna buy it. So I bought it. Which is funny because after I bought it, I started seeing more people talk about this. So the next book I have is Sisters of the Snake by Serena and Sasha Nanwa. So funny story. So I ended up buying, so like I said with The Bones of Ruin, I ended up buying the second book by accident. Not because I can't read, but because Book Outlet did not tell me that it was a series. It didn't say book 2, it didn't say book 1. So I ended up buying the second book. And then when I got the second book, on the book itself, it was like, yeah, book 2. And I'm like, book 2. So this is book 1. So I'm excited to get into it. The next book I have is The Sacrifice by Ren Chupeco. And she's cute. She's very cute. Like, look at that. So I didn't notice that these were hands until like later, but like these are hands up here grabbing the face and eats. The cover eats. Now my thing is, I'm looking at the back and it's saying praise for the girl from the wall. I don't know if this is a second book, a sequel, or a part of a series. We're gonna have to do some research. That's for sure. Is this a sequel? This is ASAP by Axio. Don't know if it's this second book or a standalone. We're gonna have to do some research, but I got it because the cover, it is very cute and very adorable. The next book I got was Boys with Sharp Teeth by Jenny Howell. The cover eats down. I did hear some people on TikTok talking about it, but once again, Boys with Sharp Teeth, to me, that screams vampire, and that's what I'm sticking with. It's a vampire story. We are almost done with this box, I promise. And then I got The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. I've been hearing a lot of talk about this. I did hear a lot of talk about this during on Black Book Talk. I got A Hunt on Dark Waters by Katie Robert, One thing about me is I love Katie Robert down. Like, I love the Neon God series down. Like, I think I have the whole entire series of Neon Gods. And I believe I'm on the fifth book right now. I don't remember the name of the book. But I love Katie Robert, and I wanted to like dive into a different universe from her. So I'm hoping that this is really good, as maybe not as good as Neon Gods because those are about Greek gods, but I also do love mermaids. I love anything with mermaids and sirens and even pirates. And so I can't wait to see what this book has. And then lastly from this box, I got Witches Steeped in Gold by Shannon Smart, or Shannon Smart. Shannon Smart? Yeah. Um I just like the cover. The cover is like really good. Um and just like even the font and the design of the cover is like it, chef's kiss. See, is this mold? This looks like mold. I don't know if you guys can see. None, none of the other books have it, but we'll have to investigate that later. Okay, so we're on the last box. So I got The House of Marion by J.L. The next book I got was What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. And just like hood feminism, I had a hard time getting a hold of this book. Like, I feel like it was sold out everywhere. And so I finally have it. I also kind of just want to get into horror. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, horror scares me. Like, I feel like I just need to dive into that world. I'm also a writer, and I'm getting my master's in creative writing, so I just like I feel like I can't be afraid, but I also want to know like everything about writing, and I just want to understand like the aspects of writing horror, and just I don't know. Like you're never going to know unless you read it. So I'm hoping like this is good as everybody says it is. Like, I mean, it probably is good because it's always sold out. The next book I have is Between Friends and Lovers by Shirlene Abulby. I mean, I'm here for a good white choose. I think it's just a good white choose. And once again, black female lead who's getting loved on. I'm here for it. The next book I have is The Kiss Countdown by Etta Easton. I've just been hearing a lot about this book. I'm a little upset though, because, like, just look at the book's dirty. I don't know what to do about that. I don't know. I think on the other book, which is Deep in Gold, I think that's dirt, because I feel like if it was mold, the other books would be moldy. I don't know. I'm gonna try not to let that bother me. But yeah, so I've just been looking forward to getting this book, and I've been seeing a lot of people talk about it. Like, I've been hearing mixed reviews, but like I don't really like when it comes to reviews of books, I don't really pay attention because sometimes like those reviews are kind of like biased in a way. Like, we all have our biases, but like I don't know. Somebody's ick could be like my I don't know. The other book I have is The Spy and I by Tiana Smith. I will say, like, my favorite pastime back in the day when I was like in middle school, I used to read spy books. Like, I don't know if anybody remembers I'd I'd tell you I love you, but I'd have to kill you by Allie Carter. Like, I ate that series down. Like, I loved spy stories so much. Like, I read Legend by Mary Lou, and like don't even get me started. Um but yeah, I got The Spy and I just to like get back into it just as an adult. I feel like I haven't read any spy books as an adult, and like what would be my take on it now, because it used to excite me as a kid. The next book I have is A Bright Heart by Kate Chenley. I mean, we see why I bought it. It's very pretty. It's very, yeah, it's pretty. No notes. No notes. And I got another book about gaming, and it's called Game On by Sarisha Glass. And I got it because one, the cover's cute, but two, I like playing video games, and my partner plays video games, and I love watching him play, and I just like gaming in general, and I think gaming is really cool. So it's also great to see that gaming is being placed in fiction more often, and that makes me really happy and more excited. And then last book on the docket of the entire haul, The Cheerleaders by Cara Thomas. Yeah, The Cheerleaders by Cara Thomas. I read The Counselors. I forget the author's name. It's not the same author, but I remember like liking it, and the cover of this reminded me of that book. And it seems like this is a thriller, and so like a YA thriller, and you know what? I'm here for it. I think that YA thrillers are very interesting because like you kind of have to bring that mystery and that edginess to it, but you also have to keep in mind that you are writing for a young adult audience, and so I think that's why I like it so much. Okay, so now we kind of have to count how many books this is because it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of books. But let's get to the counting. Let me know how many books you think is in this haul. Unless you are counting since the start. Let's get to it.
A few moments later.
It's 49 books. One book away from 50, but yeah, it's 49 books altogether, which is insane because my partner's gonna kill me. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and tell me what books you've read, and what books you have on your TBR, and yeah, bye.